Mr. President, the Honor Guard is prepared for inspection.
Welcome to the West Wing Week, your guide to everything that's happening at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. This week, the President welcomed a fellow President to the White House and held a whirlwind of meetings at the United Nations General Assembly. And the First Lady named a new Panda cub that's September 25th to October 1st, or
Make it matter.
Friday was deja vu all over again on the South Lawn as the second arrival ceremony of the week took place. This time it wasn't the Pope, it was President Xi of China.
President Xi, you've spoken of your vision of China's peaceful development. And during my visit to Beijing last year, you said that there were wide areas where our two nations need to and can cooperate with each other. And I fully agree.
The two leaders also held a bilateral meeting and a news conference where they reaffirmed the critical role that our countries play in cutting carbon pollution and fighting climate change.
Last year I announced our pledge of $3 billion to the Green Climate Fund to help developing nations deal with climate change. Today I welcome China's major commitment of climate finance for the most vulnerable countries as well.
Meanwhile, the First Ladies took a walk on the wild side at the Smithsonian National Zoo. There, they visited the Panda house and named the new Panda cub. The day didn't end there. At 2:12 p.m., the President headed to Fort Myer to bid adieu to General Martin Dempsey, who is retiring as the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff.
I'm told that on Marty's desk there's a box. It's a cigar box with 132 cards, each one with the name, picture, and story of every one of the 132 soldiers who gave their lives under his command in Iraq. And on top of the box are three words: make it matter.
The day still wasn't over. It was time to dress up and attend the official state dinner to welcome Chinese President Xi and First Lady Peng to the White House.
To the people of China and the people of the United States, may they work together like fingers on the same hand in friendship and in peace. Gandhi.
On Saturday, the First Lady attended the Global Citizen Festival in Central Park. There, she started a conversation online to highlight the 62 million girls worldwide who are not in school and don't have access to education. On Sunday, the President was wheels down in New York City precisely at 12:03 p.m. The next few days were a whirlwind of meetings with world leaders and speeches to those gathered in the Big Apple for the United Nations General Assembly.
Indeed, I believe that in today's world, the measure of strength is no longer defined by the control of territory. Lasting prosperity does not come solely from the ability to access and extract raw materials. The strength of nations depends on the success of their people, their knowledge, their innovation, their imagination, their creativity, their drive, their opportunity, and that in turn depends on individual rights and good governance and personal security.
Then it was on to the meetings. First, the President met with Prime Minister Modi of India. Then, UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon. Later, the Peacekeeping Summit. And then, finally, the President of Russia, Vladimir Putin. On Tuesday, the President had more meetings, including bilats with the President of Cuba and the President of Kazakhstan. He also chaired the Leaders' Summit on countering ISIL and countering violent extremism. On Wednesday, the President made his way across West Exec to the Eisenhower Executive Office Building, where he spoke to Democratic state legislators.
But also a greater opportunity on state legislatures all across the country.
Well, you've gone and done it. You spent another few minutes with us here at the West Wing Week, and we want you to come back. So stay engaged with us online, and remember, you can find out more information about any of these topics and see complete videos of these events at whitehouse.gov. Thanks again for checking out this edition of your West Wing Week.
I hope and pray that I don't have to come out again during my tenure as president to offer my condolences to families in these circumstances. But based on my experience as president, I can't guarantee that. And that's terrible to say. And it can change.